أكبر سبحان الله والحمد لله والله أكبر سبحان الله والحمد لله والله أكبر
The revelation part in Makkah is from God, and which is the language and so on is appropriate for the subject matter. So, and then to emphasize that this is not the speech of any human being, especially not the speech of the Prophet Muhammad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is throwing a challenge. Is challenging if you have any doubt that this is from God, then produce like it, even one chapter, one surah. Now imagine there are certain surah which are only 3 verses in it, or 4 verses in it, like Inna Atayna Kal Kawthar. This is a Wal Asr, or Surah Al-Ikhlas, like Qul Huwallahu Ahad, 4 or 5 chapters. This the easiest way for the enemies of Islam to destroy Prophet's claim that the Quran is from God was to produce something, or take up this challenge and produce something which will be recognized by everyone that it is comparable to the Quran. So there were all the Quraysh, they started calling the Prophet, this, that, he's a liar, he's a crazy guy, he's this and that, and he's persecuting his followers, fighting him, battling him, and so on. Instead of all that, if he had just produced a few verses similar to the Quran, then the challenge would have been taken. So it shows that they were incapable of it. The challenge still stands. The Arabic language is still there. The great scholars and great fusaha, that is poets and writers and all kind of people. But it is not just the language, it is the content of the Quran. Now, if the Quran says, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدْ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدْ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. Say, God is one, that He is eternal, He is self-sufficient, He was not born, He was not begotten, or not to beget not, and there is nothing comparable to Him. Now, somebody will have to make this kind of a statement unless he has this knowledge. He has knowledge that God is one, and that He is eternal, He is self-sufficient, that He was not begotten. Now, at that time, there was the whole world, was full of thinking of gods and goddesses, the polytheism, and even Christianity had that Christ, Jesus was the Son of God. So how could anybody compose anything like the Quran if they have no such knowledge? So this knowledge which is coming in the Quran is purely from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so no human being, this challenge cannot be taken by any human being, or even it says all the jinns and the human beings, all may help each other, but they could not produce a single surah of the Quran. So this is one of the standing challenge of the Quran, and to refute the claim of the Prophet that he received the Quran from God, was to take up this challenge, and but nobody has taken this challenge. Some of them tried, but there was nobody agreed that there is anything comparable to it. Now, what is the purpose of the Quran? Purpose of the Quran is to guide human beings. Is a guidance human being. That is to bring human beings to the sovereignty of their Creator, to worship Him alone, and to live a life which is revealed by God to be a righteous life, to be the life which is suitable for human beings, which is guides to piety, guide to righteous action, and it defines what is permissible, what is not permissible, what is obligatory, what is haram, what is prohibited, what is beneficial to human beings, what is harmful to human beings. So it lays down a certain rules and of living a life which is called hasanatut fil dunya, hasanat fil akhirah, that is, which will guarantee that peace and prosperity in this life and peace and prosperity in the next life. So the purpose of the Quran is basically to inform human being about the existence, about the sovereignty of God in the universe, and also in human affairs, and to guide them to the right path. So now, why is it necessary? Why is it necessary that human beings have to be guided? What is good and what is bad? Can the science and the kind of human intellect enough to provide what is good and what is bad? You can study philosophy. You can study all the legislation, human legislation, and you see that how 10 years ago something was considered good or bad, and then today it is the opposite of it. Just a few years ago, for example, in the 50s or 60s, 1950s, 1960s, the homosexuality was completely frowned upon in this country. And now it is acceptable. Now, similarly, drinking, it was considered to be very harmful to human being. Even scientifically, articles were written down. So, in fact, in 1918, it was prohibited. Now everybody drinks, even marijuana and so on. So you see, human beings themselves, they are not their creator. We have not created ourselves. So God has not given us the power to decide what is good, what is harmful. It is something like, our product is, for example, a car. So we know that a certain key, for example, a certain key is for ignition, another. So if you use that key, ignition key into the door, it will not going to work, or in fact, the key will not be broken. So similarly, God is the creator of human being. He has created human nature. He has created our intellect, all our, and He has placed us in this world. So He knows, He knows total human being and the total environment for him. So only He can describe what is good, what is bad, what is evil, and what is not evil. So only God can decide, and that is one of the main purpose of the Quran. Of course, is besides emphasizing the unity of Allah, the worship of Allah alone, is to prescribe certain rules and regulations. Now the question is, who can benefit the Quran? This again, the Quran itself describes who can benefit. What are the prerequisites for benefiting from the Quran? Is it possible for someone to just pick it up and start reading and benefiting from the Quran? Now, in fact, it says there are certain prerequisites for benefiting from the Quran. It says in the second surah, in the beginning, so it describes who can benefit. It says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. This is the book in which there is no doubt, and it is a guidance to the God-fearing, those who already have some notion, some idea, some faith that God is directing this and not that human being can decide it. So a person who does not believe in God, a person who is not inclined toward good actions, the Quran says it will not guide him. It will, in fact, maybe make him more obstinate and more arrogant. So, and who are these muttaqeen? Says, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. First of all, there is iman bil ghaib. Now, what is ghaib? Ghaib is something which is not observable to human beings. Okay? I can give an example like the historical events. For us, they are ghaib. For example, if somebody says there was a person named Napoleon, that's a ghaib for me, unless it's information is coming from other sources, from other human beings. Similarly, ghaib is like my ideas. My ideas are entirely ghaib to any other human being. No matter how they can experiment, they may open my skull and try to find out what my idea is. They cannot find it unless I communicate myself. But here, ghaib means the events, the people, the creations, and Allah Himself is ghaib. That is unobservable to human beings. The angels, the life hereafter. How could we, through any means, scientific method or speculation, know about God, know about the hereafter, that after death there will be a day of judgment, we will be resurrected, we will be brought forth. So these are matters of ghaib, that is, human beings cannot know them with their own experiments or with their own speculation, unless God Himself informs them their existence. So the prerequisite for guiding of the Quran is to have, first of all, the faith in Allah, and then to faith the possibility that God is informing us about the unseen realities which we cannot discover in ourselves. And after that, we try to follow the guidance which has been coming through the Quran. So that is where establishing prayers and spending money for charity, or believing in the prophets and so on. These earlier revelations, these things are necessary to benefit from the Quran. A person who is already rejecting the possibility of revelation, rejecting the belief in God and the hereafter, he is not going to benefit. In fact, it says later, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب أليم. In fact, those who disbelieve in the possibility of revelation, they are not going to be accepting this message, whether you warn them or you do not warn them. It's useless. Somebody who is insisting that he will not change my mind, he will not change my mind, he will not change my mind. Even if you bring a proof directly, if you bring the book from upstairs, if you bring the angels, I'm not going to believe it. So if they are in that frame of mind, then it is useless whether you warn them or you don't warn them. So this is the benefit of the Quran is only for those who come with a frame of mind of accepting the guidance and accepting the revelation, the possibility of revelation, and who believe in the truthfulness of the Prophet. have described, the one more thing I would like to say about the Quran, and that is, it is not like any other book. You open a book on statistics, so it first starts, what is the definition of statistics, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. It is not like that. The Quran is a book in the sense that it is collected in a book form, but the message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is similar to, say, God's nature. So, if you go to the mountain, if you go to the Allah's creation, look at Allah's creation, you see a rock here and a lake there and trees here and so on and so forth, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is creator of everything. He's not making a park, a little park. We human beings make a park. So we have a little arbor here, we have a row of trees here, we have some rocks from water falling. But in Allah's nature, it is not organized like a park, So similarly, the book, the Quran, is book of Allah. It is just like nature. So Allah can say anything concerning any subject, and it will be true. So this is description. People are, kind of upset that why is the Quran not like a book written by human being? Because this is not written by human being. This is Allah which has written. وآخر دعوانا والحمد لله رب
الله أكبر سبحان الله والحمد لله والله أكبر سبحان الله والحمد لله والله